We're back. Okay, number 9, Hancock Field Development, Syracuse Hancock International Airport Environmental Assessment. Whereas the town of Cicero has been notified that the Syracuse Regional Airport Authority is preparing an environmental assessment, EA, to consider potential non-aeronautical development land use of approximately 98 acres of airport property, parcel number 0570222.1 and parcel 0570223.0. And whereas the Syracuse Regional Airport Authority has requested that the town board authorize the town supervisor to sign the attached letter stating that the town of Cicero does not object to the environmental assessment concerning a potential zone change subject to Cicero zoning ordinances, environmental considerations, and stormwater facilities. Now therefore be resolved, Cicero Town Board authorizes the town supervisor to sign the attached letter to the Syracuse Regional Airport Authority. Now to make sure you understand what that development land use is they're talking, we'll translate it to everyday language. They're talking about warehouse space and warehouse space to support other warehouse activities. They were not specific beyond that. And they were very emphatic that this is just the first start, as you can imagine, to go through the process in Washington. It still has to come back and meet the normal zone change process and the planning board process. Need a second.
Second.
Judy seconded, I believe.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, Mrs. Blakey. Discussion on number 9. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey.
Yes.
Counselor Carp.
Aye.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Number 10, Affordable Benefits Contract. Resolved, the Cicero Town Board approves the agreement with Affordable Benefits Concept Incorporated for third-party administrative TPA services for those town employees and their families who participate in the benefit offering health insurance plan coverage, and to authorize supervisors to execute the agreement with the budget codes A90898, B9608, and DB9608. Need a second.
Second.
Second. Carp. This is for the administration of the fact that we had some contracts with labor unions and all the health insurance didn't totally match up. So what the employees do is they take their bills and receipts, goes to the comptroller's office, and then this firm does the administration to make sure that the benefits are paid out properly. And if you want any details on that, the comptroller is here, and I'm sure she can help you out with the weekly meetings she has with the company to make sure this is administered properly. Do you have any comments on it, Elka?
No, I'm glad I'm not doing it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second for the discussion on number 10.
I'm hopeful that with some things that we're looking into, perhaps we'll be able to eliminate this and cancel the contract, and we'll be able to save the expense and also save our comptroller the time of having to deal with it.
Further discussion on number 10?
I second what Councilor Carp said.
Thank you. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey.
Yes.
Counselor Carp.
Aye.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Number 11, approval of safety consulting agreement. Resolved, the Cicero Town Board approves the, we have to fix it. I'm going to change that to approves the agreement between the town of Cicero and Haler, Frere and Kuhn Incorporated to provide safety management consulting services pursuant to the terms and conditions contained in the written proposal for a total of $25,920 for a 12-month period effective January 1st, 2021, and to authorize supervisor to execute the agreement, budget codes DB 51142 and B 36204.
Second, Councilor Bacallo.
Any discussion on number 11 as amended?
Yes, please.
Yep.
I didn't get a copy of this, and I had a concern that when these safety programs come in for whatever reason, that I would ask that in the contract, the town board or it to all of the board members and the office directors or supervisors are notified in advance before any of these are implemented, just so that everyone has a heads up and we have an opportunity to say whether or not we feel that it is necessary.
Okay. Just so you know, as far as notification of the departments, all the departments participate in the safety meetings and along with the consultant. So actually, they're up to speed actually every time we have a meeting.
Well, none of the town board members have been ever notified that these safety measures are being taken. So I think that there needs to be something in the contract that states that, so board members are, if they aren't up to speed, be brought up to speed, just like all of the departments.
Okay. Mr. Bacala was the rep a while ago, and
Sorry, Bill, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bacala was on the safety committee a few months ago. So, but as far as notification of the meetings, that's easy to we'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I believe emails would go out after all those meetings to the board and as well as the committee afterwards.
That's
So
right.
I know-
You're right, Michael. But as far, I'll, is Nicole Walsh is there? Nicole, did you hear the conversation?
She's there, but she's not
Okay,
there.
I see her name on the screen. I don't see the microphone on, but we'll be sure to relay that message. Okay, further discussion on number 11. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey.
Yes.
Counselor Carp.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacalo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Next item is Town Cicero insurance coverage for 2021. Whereas the workers' compensation, liability, and property insurance for the Town of Cicero expires on December 31st, 2020. Now therefore be resolved, the Town of Cicero renew the property liability coverage with Travelers for 2021 for $174,518, and the workers' compensation coverage with PERMA for $162,782 per the attached proposals, bids, and coverage details. Coverage budget codes DB 19104, B 19104, A 19104, next section A 9408, B 9408, and DB 9408. This particular time, the liability coverage increased about 34,000. The workers' comp had a dramatic decrease. And I think Hank Chapman is here, and he can provide details on those as far as the process. And I have to tell you, a great deal of the progress that we've made on the workers' comp, which not too long ago was well over $435,000, and now is down into 162, is a result of fantastic cooperation with all the employees in the town and an increased awareness of the safety activities. So that's done a great job to take care of that and the team. So Hank, did you want to add anything on there?
Hopefully you were able to read most of the documentation I provided. I probably went into a little more detail than anybody cared to read. Your workers' comp, as the supervisor said, has had a great story thanks to the safety committee, thanks to the work of PERMA and all of us working together. Back in the day, I could not get anyone else to quote your workers' comp because your losses were so bad. Since the safety committee's successes, we were now able to get quotes from 4 different groups, which is basically anybody that will provide. And all of the quotes were, about $300,000 less than you were paying 4 years ago. And it's about $150,000 savings over last year. So the numbers are great. And the numbers are looking good going forward. You'll notice that the $162,000 number that was just mentioned is for a 2-year contract. And if your loss ratio stays even remotely close to what it is this year, it'll be down to $150,000 the following year. So the numbers are great, and keep up the good work, everybody that's involved with the safety committee. On the property and liability, insurance rates are going up. They have been going up. We went out to all markets for insurance that specialize in municipal insurance. 2 declined. One was just not competitive and didn't give an actual formal quote. And we presented you with 2. Travelers and Houston Casualty, about a $4,000 difference in price. Both give you fantastic and great coverage. I think the recommendation here is to stay with Travelers. And I certainly agree with that. They've done a great job for the town in the time that you've been with them. And I'm here for any other questions anybody might have.
Hank, can you explain or give us an idea of why this has gone up?
So the property and liability insurance rates are just going up for everyone, everywhere. There's a lot of reasons. A lot of it has to do with catastrophic losses throughout the country with hurricanes and floods and things like that. A lot of it has to do with automobile claims have gone up for everyone, everywhere, in large part due to distracted driving, in large part due to the fact that everybody's vehicles now have cameras in the bumpers, and it's a lot more expensive to repair them. I've been in the insurance business now for 11 years. Insurance rates have gone down substantially for 9.5 of those years. In the last 1.5 years, they finally started going up. You are still paying with this quote $10,000 to $20,000 less than you were when we took over the account 11 years ago. So they've been going down consistently and steadily, and now the market is just ticking back up. But we did bring the competition into the equation just to make sure you were, getting every option that it was available, and competition always brings in a better number than without it.
So actually, we end up carrying the coverage that others more or less have the opportunity to turn claims in on, as opposed to the North Country. And obviously, the new vehicles with all the new gadgets is something that's causing our insurance to go up.
That's correct. Yeah, it's industry wide, and it's for mostly the property, mostly the auto, but all lines of insurance have been going up over the last approximately 1.5 years.
Thank you.
But aren't people driving
You're
a lot
welcome.
less with everything being closed and with people working from home? I mean, shouldn't that have an impact also?
Yeah, I don't know that. No, I don't think that's had an effect. We've had that conversation with the insurance carriers in several instances. I mean, if you have less programs with your parks and stuff as you do, there's slight credits for things like that you guys have kind of taken advantage of. But as far as driving, the rates are still going up substantially. The accidents are still happening. And they look at it's not a short term, the last 6-8 months look. It's based on losses they've had over the last year, 2 years, 3 years in the industry that's making rates go up. But if you have less vehicles on the road, if the town of Cicero is driving less vehicles, your rates definitely would go down. It's based on the number of vehicles that we insure for you.
Okay.
Do we also get a credit for good driving records?
It's absolutely. Your vehicle records and driver records are checked on an annual basis, and that factors into the equation always, yes.
I'm not sure a lot of people know, we actually have a system that the comptroller's office works with to make sure we have up-to-date driving records. So we monitor that as well. Further discussion on number 12. Okay, I'm sorry, Tracy, I did not mark the second.
It wasn't.
There was.
So we need a second.
I'll second.
Ms. Boyke. Okay, further discussion on number 12? Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Nancy, number 13?
Authorizing the execution of the cruelty contract with the Central New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Whereas the town of Cicero wishes to contract with a local chapter of the SPCA, CNY SPCA, to provide an effective and efficient manner to provide cruelty services to the town. Now therefore be it resolved. The Cicero Town Board approves the attached contract with the Central New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, CNY SPCA, to enforce provisions of Article 26 of the Agriculture and Markets Law of the State of New York, which are reported to it by the town of Cicero, effective January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021, for $5,238.54, budget code A35104.
Second, Counselor Bicallo.
Discussion on number 13? Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Mike, number 14?
Approve fire contracts. Resolved, the Cicero Town Board authorizes the town supervisor and town board to sign and execute the 2021 fire department contracts. Bridgeport, Brewerton, Cicero, North Syracuse, and South Bay as the Cicero Fire Protection District as amended.
Second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Boyke. For clarification on, as it says, as amended, the North Syracuse number contract was originally for $296,867. That is an amended number of $301,810. So that's the amended portion. So small adjustment. Discussion on number 14. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
I will abstain.
and Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Mike, number 15.
Approve Brewerton ambulance agreement. Resolved, the Cicero Town Board authorizes the supervisor to sign and execute the attached contract.
Second.
Second, Mrs. Boyke. Just for information's sake, that's for $105,000 this year, next year, $112,350, and the year after that, $119,091.
I don't believe we saw that contract. I didn't see it.
Are the attachments?
In the attachments.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Further discussion on number 15. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item adopted. Thank you. Jonathan, number 16.
Resolved, the Cicero Town Board approves the supervisor to execute the agreement effective January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021 from ML Cacamise Electric Corporation to maintain the traffic signals at the following locations. 1, maintenance of flashing beacons for school zones. Brewerton Road Elementary School, Route 11 Brewerton, Gillette Road Middle School, South Bay Road Cicero, 2 units north and southbound on approach to school. 2, maintenance of traffic signal lights and controllers. A, intersection of Circle Drive and Hogan Drive, Cicero. B, Circle Drive at entrance to Drivers Village, Cicero. 3, maintenance of flashing light and controller. A, railroad tracks approach on Orangeport Road, Brewerton, 2 units. Lakeshore Road for William Park, Cicero. And be it further resolved that the hourly cost of $145.45 for normal daytime hours, $179.10 for overtime and Saturdays, and $218.50 for holidays and Sundays shall apply.
Second, Counselor Bicallo.
Just an information item, that's on an as-need basis. This past year, that was just a little over $1,000. So important item that fortunately is not costing taxpayers a lot of money. So we have a motion and second discussion on number 16.
Yes, Bill, thank you for giving it to John because I was going to botch that name.
Okay, thank you.
Did I get it right? I have no idea.
It
My
worked.
best
It
shot.
worked, John. It worked. Okay, clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Number 17, alternate attorney for the town. Whereas the town of Cicero needs additional specialized legal services, and whereas the town attorney has recommended Hancock and Esbrook law firms to provide these additional specialized services, now therefore be resolved that Cicero Town Board appoints the Hancock and Esbrook law firm as the alternate attorney for the town of Cicero to provide specialized legal services for the town, and be it further resolved, the billing shall have a maximum of $35,000, and the board authorizes the supervisor to sign documents related to this agreement, budget code B312065. If you remember, we did a item similar to this a while ago, but that item had a maximum, I believe, of $20,000, and so this is reauthorizing the expenditure for this specialized service. Need a second.
Just want to note that that's an additional 35,000.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
To the and then there was the 20 and an additional 35.
Correct. Need a
Okay.
second?
Is there a time frame for this? I mean, is this,
Through basically, it'll end up being this year and time that is billed for this time period. Next year, we're into another full billing, but the last notices that I received were not up to date, Nancy, as far as time for this year. So it would depend on how many billable hours they have in for this year. This number right here is for this year.
Can I ask, what this alternate attorney is supporting? If we already have 20,000, which I believe was to support Kate, what are we supporting with this one?
This is specialized legal services, primarily labor contracts and labor issues.
I can speak to that a little bit. We haven't had a second. Should we have a second procedurally first before we discuss
No.
this?
No.
We don't have one, right? Shouldn't we have one first?
Yes, you should.
Second.
I'll second it for the I'll second it for the purpose of discussion.
Right.
Our comptroller forwarded some of these bills to me. It is mostly labor. I mean, we've had some arbitration. I think that's going to be coming to an end. I mean, we settled it, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of that in the future. We have some, and I'm not going to get into it, 207C issues, which are extremely complex. The billing is pretty heavy. I do have an issue, and you know, Mr. Meyer and I, whatever, you talk to them. Part of the problem is if you look at the billing, you'll see a block of 3.5 hours with multiple things lumped in there. And I can tell you as an attorney, it's impossible for me to know how reasonable the billing is when you have multiple services in there in 3.5 hours, especially when you take that as a whole with other things that have been billed in that particular bill. So I think the discussion needs to be had with them about making the bills more granular and more detailed, because if you lump, like I said, if you lump three and four items in with 3 hours, I can't tell. It's really reasonable that 2 hours are spent on this one and maybe the others were not much. I just can't tell because they're all lumped together. So, in fairness, considering the amount of money we're spending, I think we're entitled to better, more detailed billing. And that probably would address some of the concerns that I have about this item, because it has been quite expensive. Again, these are complex legal issues, but it's a lot of money. And we have a fiduciary obligation to ensure that we are, being billed properly. I'm not saying we're not being billed properly, but we should be able to learn more from these bills than I think we're learning right now.
I agree, John. I also had a conversation with the comptroller, and it was hard to decipher, not saying that it wasn't, the time wasn't spent, but it was not very specific as to the reasons for the applicable hours that were being charged. Is that something we need to put into the contract, or is that something that we just need to request?
I think we can have a discussion with Mr. Jermaine and the Hancock people to talk about it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it needs to be in the letter of engagement or the contract.
Sometimes these conversations cover more than one subject, so. We'll have
Yep.
to- Okay, we have a motion, a second. Further discussion on number 17. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Nancy, number 18.
Custodian contract. Resolved, the Cicero Town Board approves Mallory Albert as town historian at an annual amount of $500 and to authorize the supervisor to execute the 2021 contract, budget code A7510.4.
Second, Counselor Bicallo.
Discussion. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Judy, number 19.
Award the garbage contract for the town of Cicero. Whereas the County of Onondaga Purchasing Department, on behalf of the town of Cicero, solicited bids for furnishing garbage and recyclable collection and disposal by a bid proposal dated October 22nd, 2020. And whereas the bid responses were due and opened on November 12th, 2020, and whereas the Onondaga County Purchasing Department and the town of Cicero duly canvassed the bid responses received on November 12th, 2020, and found Superior Waste Removal Incorporated submitted the low bid of $5,838,334.80 for a 32-month period beginning May 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2023. For the attached bid schedule. Now therefore be it resolved, the town of Cicero awards the contract for garbage and recycle collection and disposal to Superior Waste Removal, Inc. for the low bid of $5,838,334.80.
Second.
Our discussion on number 19. Do you have anything to add, Kate? Kate had no idea she was going to learn so many
Yeah,
subjects as trash when she started this job a few months ago. So, anything to
I've
add
done-
right now?
Mm-mm.
Okay, nothing to add. Further discussion on number 19. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Number 20, acknowledging Gabrielle Segroy as supervisor, secretary, and designating petty cash, whereas the supervisor has a need to fill the secretary position due to the retirement of the current secretary, and whereas due to the retirement of the current secretary, there is a need to assign the central petty cash to Gabrielle Segroy. Now therefore be resolved to acknowledge Gabrielle Segroy as the supervisor secretary at a pay rate of $17.91 per hour beginning 12/14/20, and be it further resolved the following petty cash allotments: Gabrielle Segroy petty cash $100. Need a second.
Second.
Second. Discussion on number 20.
Just a quick question. Other than the purchase order part of it, she will be handling all the rest of the positions, is that correct?
I'm not sure what your question is. It's the
Well,
normal
is that the
position.
only thing that she's not going to be doing? That's all I'm asking.
Actually, her job title is going to be expanded because we have a need, in my opinion, a pronounced need in the senior and veterans area. And I've been working with the assessor's office so that we can get some of the seniors to come in for the business to go to see the assessor. And we're going to take advantage of that opportunity and try to get them into things like we approved for CDS housing, that senior housing up the road. And there's other senior housing areas. And there's other benefits that the veterans and the seniors are eligible for. And we're going to try to get that information out to the seniors in a more effective way. So we're expanding what was the job.
Well, then, wasn't that a part of the senior center? I know that Diane Browning is no longer there, but didn't they still have some type of a informational over there?
Catholic Charities no longer has that position filled, and the seniors aren't going into the building the way they were before, so they're not getting the direct access. So we're going to be taking advantage of the opportunity to see the seniors when they're coming in to see the town clerk or the assessor, and to get that information to them directly.
Thank you.
And for less money. So, further discussion on number 20. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Patalo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Nancy, 21.
The board approves the hiring of Paula DeMarco as a part-time information aide. Whereas the comptroller's office has an opening and need to fill an information aide position. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves the hiring of Paula DeMarco effective January 4th, 2021, I believe,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, good catch.
Yes, that's correct.
at a pay rate of $18 per hour for 25 hours per week, contingent on passing her drug test and physical. Budget code A13151.
Second.
Second.
Council-
Okay, so I'm going to take it, Nancy, that your resolution is going to be at the 2021, so we'll mark it as amended. And we have a second discussion on number 21 as amended. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Patalo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is
Hey, Nancy.
adopted. Thank you.
Nancy, thank you for amending that. As much as, I enjoyed my time here, 2000 and don't want to do 2020 again.
Not again. Okay, 22, the board approves the memorandum of understanding, MOU, between the Cicero Police Department and Liberty Resources Incorporated, whereas Liberty Resources Incorporated provides crisis intervention services to adults, youth, and families identified as being in need of assistance for mental health crisis issues, and whereas the Town of Cicero Police Department wishes to form a linkage relationship with Liberty Resources Incorporated for referrals from the department to facilitate access to mobile crisis services for individuals identified in need of intervention. And whereas a copy of the proposed memorandum of understanding between the Cicero Police Department and Liberty Resources Incorporated has been provided to the town supervisor and board members and has been approved by council as to form and content. It is hereby resolved the town of Cicero approves the proposed agreement as presented and authorizes the police of, I probably should be chief of police, but it's written as police chief to execute the same. That's the motion in a second.
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Boyke, discussion on number 22. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Patalo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Number 23, Judy.
Agreement for use of Okra Solid Waste Management System, whereas the two-year agreement between Okra, OCRRA, and the Town of Cicero is about to expire and needs to be renewed. Now therefore be it resolved that Cicero Town Board authorizes the town supervisor to sign and execute the attached agreement with Okra effective January 1st, 2021, and shall terminate December 31st, 2022.
second.
We need a second.
Second. I tried to take a break. Someone else jump in.
Okay, just to put some numbers to this, the tip fee went from $95 a ton to $100, and the Okra is now charging for recyclables. So that's a change from the last time around. Further discussion on number 23.
I noticed that, because I got a copy of last year's contract, and I noticed that Chris Woznicka signed the agreement. So I went to the highway department to find out why they have the Okra contract. And Terry told me that all it was for their permits and decals, so that when the town needs to take something to Okra. So I believe that's just for our own town recyclables or waste or whatever it is that we're taking over there.
You know, this contract is a very comprehensive document covering an agreement with the town. I think she may be misinformed.
So is this part of the garbage contract?
It's indirectly part of the garbage contract. The haulers use Okra as far as the disposal of the recyclables and the so-called trash. This is an agreement with Okra that we are going to be participating with Okra so that we can use our haulers. All the municipalities are going through the same process.
So is this a new contract? Because I don't ever remember this.
This has been going on for years. Mr. Jermaine, are you still on there?
Yes.
Robert, Judy has some questions on whether this is a new thing for an Okra contract. I'm not sure you heard the question.
Well, I just don't recall.
We've
Could
been
be
having
just me.
contracts with Okra in the trash business and flow control for many, many years.
All right, but they don't
You're
they
on-
have a contract as
You're on the
well?
mute. You're on the mute, Robert.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry about that.
there you are.
Yeah, I could talk for days about the Okra contract. This is a standard. It's part of flow control. When they built the Covanta waste to energy system on Rock Cut Road, they oversized facility. This is part of the pledge that all our municipal waste go there. And the haulers have separate agreements as well.
Oh, all right, because I was going to say, I thought that we had agreement with our trash haulers. I just don't remember ever signing a separate agreement ourselves.
This one's about our flow control, Judy. When they sold the bonds for the Covanta facility years ago, part of that were all the municipalities had to pledge that their trash and waste would go to the plant on Rock Cut Road, so they'd have enough trash to justify the cost of the plant, which never really happened. And we can talk about that someday. I've got a lot of information on there.
Now they can't get anybody to recycle.
That was also part of one of the original lawsuits about 20 years ago when Okra tried to sue all the municipalities. And that's another good story that I'll tell you someday.
Okay,
But
thank you.
I've reviewed the contract and it's acceptable as to form and content.
All right. Thank you, Robert.
Robert hit it right on the head. It's all about flow control, and it's all about not wanting to import trash. We want to keep our own trash. We went through the whole process of trying to do landfill sites around the county, which is a very, very difficult process to go through to do landfill sites. So this is part of that entire agreement. So, okay, on number 23, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion on 23? Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Nancy, number 24.
Approve Richard Boise for custodial contract for the Cicero Town Hall. Whereas the current custodial contract expires at the end of the year, and the town clerk's office has decided to solicit 3 quotes. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves Richard Boise to provide 2021 custodial services for the Cicero Town Hall building in the amount of $14,800 as presented in the quote dated 12/1/2020. Two other quotes were received. Bidder 2, Blue Seal Janitorial Service at $17,952. And bidder 3, Immaculate Commercial Cleaning, Michael P. Welch, DBA, at $18,000. Budget code A162043.
Second, Counselor Bicallo.
Discussion on number 24. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Judy, number 25.
Approve immaculate commercial cleaning for custodial contract for the Cicero Senior Center. Whereas the current custodial contract expires at the end of the year and the Parks and Recreation Department has decided to solicit 3 quotes rather than exercise the option to extend the current custodial contract. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves the immaculate commercial cleaning and provide custodial services at the Cicero Senior Center for 2021 for the amount of $4,500 as presented in their quote dated 12/1/2020. 2 other quotes were received. RH Barton Commercial Cleaning at $14,208 and NSI Clean Worldwide Inc. at $8,580. Budget code A677247.
Second.
Nancy, further discussion on number 25? Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Okay, Michael, number 26.
The board approves the hiring of additional seasonal wingers. Resolved, the town board approves the attached list of additional wingers effective 12/1/2020 at a pay rate of $18 per hour.
Need a second.
Second.
Ms. Blakey. Discussion. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Number 27, Nancy.
The Cicero Town Board authorizes spending up to $8,000 to prepare construction drawings for the Riverside Park Enhancement Project. Whereas the town of Cicero wishes to acquire 2 parcels of land along Bennett Street in Brewerton in order to further develop and enhance Riverfront Park. And whereas the New York State Department of Transportation, DOT, has indicated that construction drawings are required for the acquisition of this land. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board approves for Saratoga Associates to develop construction drawings for the next phase of the Riverfront Park project in the amount not to exceed $8,000. Budget code A69894.
Need a second.
Second.
Harp. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
I had a question because it said that construction drawings are required for the acquisition of the land. I had a conversation with Teresa, and I believe that it should have read that the drawings are required in order for the state to turn the 2 properties, once they are acquired, over to the town of Cicero. Teresa, are you on?
Yes, I am on. Well, but then it's still us acquiring it from the DOT. That's how he phrased it. Doug Mills phrased it to me. For the town to be able to acquire the property from them, we would need construction drawings provided.
Right, so, but this should be amended then to make that, to clarify that. Because it does say, in order to, I lost it, but anyway, in the acquisition of the property, that these construction drawings are required, and that's not the case. They're required in order for the state to turn the property over to the town. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, Mrs. White, can I offer a suggestion?
Yes, I can hardly hear you though.
Okay, if you delete the second whereas, that'll take care of it, and it'll be, that issue will just be gone. Is that agreeable to the board?
It is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So if Mrs. White has agreed to modify it, and I'm going to take that Mr. Carp is not objecting because he's the second. Is there discussion, further discussion on number 27 as amended?
Well, I just want to make another statement that this is now a newly acquired money that was not voted in during our original budget. So this is money over and above.
No, it's going to be coded to this current budget, the 2020 budget.
Okay, so you're charging 2020 as opposed to, all right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, further discussion on 27 as amended. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Number 28, approve immaculate commercial cleaning for custodial contract for the Cicero Police Department, whereas the current custodial contract expires at the end of the year, and the Cicero Police Department has decided to solicit 3 quotes rather than exercise the option to extend the current custodial contract. Now therefore be resolved that the town board approves immaculate commercial cleaning, Michael P. Welsh, DBA, to provide 2021 custodial services for the police department in the amount of $7,200 as presented in their quote dated 12/1/2020. 3 quotes were solicited: immaculate commercial cleaning, Michael P. Welsh, DBA. I'm sorry, I misread that. In which the owners of Country Cleaning Service and Blue Seal Janitorial Service did not provide a bid, and 1 bid was received from Immaculate Commercial Cleaning, DBA, $7,200, budget code B 3120.60. Need a second.
Second.
Ms. Blakey. Discussion on number 28. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Under discussion, I'm calling for a special town board meeting on January 4th, and that's 2021, which will be the organizational meeting at 6:30 p.m. For the town board members, please get with the town clerk as soon as possible because we need to have the fire contracts signed. And this is snow season, folks. Please be considerate of overnight parking. The police department has been very working with the public not to give tickets when it's possible for folks who are in violation, but the time is going to come where the snow plows are going to need to be on the road. So please stay in compliance so that the emergency vehicles can plow your streets. And I think that's pretty much it. Any of the board members have any other items?
I do. I'd like to, first of all, say that the comptrollers are now almost situated in their new home, and that we are in process of making the old comptroller's office available to the judges for their new quarters. Also, I would like to ask Elka if she would to just give a little scenario on our new budget for 2021 and what our actual percentages are so that our folks in the town know what wonderful work we did.
Well, good evening. We put the budget together with a property tax increase of 3.99%, just under 4. And we did that without stripping our fund balances or incurring more debt. Both of those have been used in past years to make to decrease the tax levy. We really took a hard look at all the expenditure items and cut. And it's difficult to make a lot of cuts when your negotiated salary increases range from 2 to 2.5%, when other costs are increasing that are beyond our control. We can't forget about our special districts. Our special districts represent about a third of our tax levy, and they're just pass-throughs. So we have very little control over what happens within our special districts. It's just an in and an out. I mean, much like, you know, your home budget, the town's budget can only be funded by few sources. A family earns money, the town taxes. Another source of revenue is debt. But, you know, that makes you look good today, but it doesn't feel good down the road when you're paying for it. It's like a family who can't make ends meet and somebody comes home and says, I figured it out. We'll put the groceries on the credit card. And then everybody goes, oh yeah, it all balances now. No, it doesn't. We have to pay that money back. Last year in 2019, the town incurred an additional $1.5 million in debt to redo the roads, to purchase heavy equipment, and to purchase police vehicles. Debt isn't a good way to keep balancing the budget. Neither is stripping our fund balances to nothing. I think we really, you know, work together to put together a budget that we can live with, you know, in crazy times. So that's what I got.
Thank you, Elka. Also, we did get shorted on some revenue coming from other resources, right?
Yes, the state, you know, while encouraging us to quote unquote, closely monitor our budgets to ensure they are balanced and make sure we have cash on hand. That's what we get from our state comptroller. Meanwhile, by the way, you're not getting some of your CHIPS money, and we're taking, you know, some of your AIM payments away, but you know, you guys got to keep your spending under line. It's hard to do that when you don't know, you know, where some of your other revenues are coming from other than taxes.
Thank you.
Further comments from the board? Okay, I had no public input items. I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you. We're adjourned.